All right, let's just jump into it. Let's see what we got here today.
I'm going to rate all of them, and at the end of the video, I'll rate the overall meta out of 10. First up is the assault rifles, and we're going to start off with the Fury assault rifle.
The AR,
this
baby.
feels like a very classic Fortnite assault rifle. It does around 180 damage per second, which is really close to the regular assault rifle. However, it has a slightly higher fire rate, being 7.4.
Nah, the Fury's booty cheeks. Let's just be honest, guys. Let's be completely honest here. The Fury AR is alright, but in comparison to the Hollow Twister AR, it's booty cheeks.
5 rather than 5.5. So it basically fires a little bit faster than your regular assault rifle, but the damage per bullet is slightly lower. It has really good recoil, and it's pretty easy to hit a lot of shots with.
Sorry, my cat's trying to
really good when you get into someone's box, in their face, and that kind of mid to close range classic assault rifle kind of combat. For me, this is going into the perfect tier. First one in there already. Very well balanced. Next up is the second assault rifle though, which is the Hollow Twister assault rifle. Now,
this is the godly AR, bro. This AR right here, it makes chapter 6.
Now this thing has a very similar damage
Fight me in the comments if you don't agree, bro.
Assault rifle. It's around 180 if we're talking about the blue variation. However, it has a scope on top of it, which makes it much more precise and easier to hit shots with.
Yeah.
Each shot also deals more damage and has a slower fire rate. So it's basically easier to hit shots. Plus, each shot itself actually deals more damage than the Fury. If you're comparing both of them, the hipfire shot is basically the exact same spread as well. However, whilst you're aiming down sight, because it has a scope, it actually has zero bloom. So it's 100% accurate, unlike the Fury, which has a lot of randomness. Technically, this is also more ammo efficient too, if you think about it, because it deals more damage per shot and shoots a little slower. So you're going to use less ammo per second for the same damage per second. Now, if you use this is basically a must-carry gun right now, because if you have a Fury and you're going up against someone who has a Hollow,
it's game over.
Not able to trade the same kind of damage. In particular, it's game over, that mid and longer range
and accuracy.
Instead, this thing is insanely strong, and for competitive in particular, this is going to become an absolute must carry. No doubt about it in my mind. So believe it or not, I'm actually putting this into the please nerf tier.
Yes, sir. Top tier, bro.
Now, I know this may seem controversial because it's not the most overpowered assault rifle ever, but in the context of the season, this is essentially a must carry. You're never going to be able to do the same amount of damage at medium and long ranges with any other weapon as you will with this. So the season's meta basically entirely revolves around carrying this weapon for competitive size, of course. For me, that's just way too centralizing and doesn't really give you any options to carry, say, the Fury assault rifle. And it is a good weapon in itself, but it's just nowhere near as good as this. So in the context of this season, I feel like it's overpowered and needs a little bit of tuning. I'm not gonna lie though, I've really enjoyed using this gun and I'll actually like the meta. So I've said please nerf because it feels over centralizing, but I won't hate it if you don't nerf it. I'm not gonna lie. Moving on to the shotguns and the
Sentinel pump.
Now this thing is so trash. Oh, it's so bad. You know, it has like the damage potential that the shotgun does. If you played a lot of reload, you'll be used to this gun.
Look, if I don't have a single shotgun in my inventory, this is like, you know, the last option of a shotgun you'd keep. If ever, if at all, I mean, you know, like the Oni it's not my favorite, but like if I have to have a shotgun and I can't find one, I'll probably pick this up until I can find a shotgun, of course. But it just doesn't do as much damage.
Gun where the Ranger shotgun has a single shot, you shoot it, it can deal big damage, and then you reload. However, the Oni shotgun kind of has that middle ground where rather than one shot, it has two, but when you shoot, it doesn't deal the big damage that you would hope. The Mythic, for example, deals 99 max to the body. Now, for a Mythic, that's pretty rubbish. And there's two shots. So if you hit two max body shots, you still can't one pump. Well, not one pump. You still can't kill them that quickly because you've just shot them twice instead. Headshot damage is also...
Bro, Sentinel pump shotgun is first.
It is so low. And it's really, really difficult shotgun to use. I feel like every single time you use this, you're just hitting for nothing. Maybe I'll be proven wrong, but this to me is going into the early game tier. I don't want to see this anywhere near my inventory.
Yeah, facts,
is the twin fire auto shotgun.
This one is alright.
A little bit actually more
in comparison,
like a shotgun than
it's a mid
auto shotgun because the reticle is really small. It does actually hit pretty decent damage. Like you can two-shot someone with a relatively low rarity if you aim well for the upper chest or into the head.
Yeah, like if we're going to put the shotguns in a hierarchy, the first top tier would be the Sentinel pump shotgun. Then you get the auto shotgun, and then you get the Oni shotgun.
So this weapon is actually really strong. I know a lot of people have said it doesn't really hit that well, but if you aim for the upper chest, and you actually have good aim and you're in close range, it's still an auto shotgun. It actually deals a lot of damage and it is really powerful. I've got a good few kills with it so far. Also in the auto shotgun, it has a 4.2 second reload time and you have to reload the whole clip at once. But still putting it in the early game tier because I don't want to carry this into late game. And that's because of the Sentinel Pump Shotgun. This thing, chef's kiss to whoever designed this over at Epic Games, or the group of people who designed this over Epic Games, because this is a good feeling pump shotgun. The first interesting part about this, in comparison to all the other pump shotguns, is that the standard pump has a fire rate of 0.7. Now this has a fire rate of 0.85, which actually means you can fire shots much quicker than with a pump shotgun. What this means is it's actually built for people to be mechanical and play around edits and play quickly with. Plus it has
Doesn't it have a higher
second pull-out time, which is exactly the same as the hammer pump from last chapter, which people thought is an extremely skillful weapon. So this to me is basically designed to be...
Yo, if you were around was it last chapter when we had the medallion, the Dash medallion, was that Cerberus, the Greek gods theme? I forgot what chapter or what season that was. The shotgun from that season or chapter, is it the hammer pump? Brody, if you know, you know what I'm saying?
Be competitive in my eyes. It looks like a weapon that was really designed around that. Plus, great damage, really good headshot damage, and sure, you can hit like low damage shots, but that is an aim issue because this shotgun is absolutely amazing, and no doubt it's going straight into the perfect tier.
Facts. It should be strong AF, bro.
However, I have a qualm with you, Epic. Please stop making shotguns that have 4 shots. Why do we have 4-shot shotguns? Just make it 5. Just stop making it 4. Please just make it 5, okay? All right, moving on to the SMGs now. First, the Surge Fire SMG. Now, this is really weird. This is a strange mechanic. It feels kind of like the sideways weapons and the sideways minigun, where it starts really slow, the fire rate, and as you shoot it, the longer it goes, the higher the fire rate goes, and also the smaller the bloom is. So basically, it becomes like harder hitting and way more accurate the longer you hold down the fire rate, which is very, very strange. Now, I've tried to use this a few times, and maybe it's a skill issue for me. Highly likely, knowing me. But I'll be honest, I've really not had any success with this. It feels incredibly difficult to use. And if you start spraying, like most people are just going to build to protect themselves already. And then it has a 40 bullets in the chamber, and it runs out of them very, very fast. So it's not like you can just hold it and spray at walls like you could with the minigun. I don't want that, but I'm just saying it's not like you could do that. So for me, this is going into the early game only tier. Next up is the Veiled Precision SMG. Now, this thing is nuts. This also has a scope on it, but the scope isn't as useful because, of course, it's an SMG, so it doesn't quite have the range that the assault rifles do. Now, this is incredible.
This is the best SMG in the game right now. This Veiled Precision SMG, this right now is definitely the best SMG. I don't care what you say. The other one is not my favorite, bro. It's not my favorite by far. But this one right here, Veiled Precision SMG, top tier.
Incredibly powerful sometimes. I have been lasered by this, the mythic version in particular of this, which is your HP just disappears completely. But other times I feel like I see shots with it, it doesn't feel that powerful. It doesn't feel super overpowered sometimes, but then you'll just get the most crazy beam with it of all time. I've seen the general consensus saying this is really, really strong, and I'm not sure whether to put it into the strong AF tier or into the no complaints tier, but I'm not really seeing any reason for it to be a guaranteed carry, so I can't put this into the strong AF tier. So I think I'm just going to put this into the no complaints tier for now. Maybe I will change that. I might change my mind. Next up is the suppressed pistol. This is basically only in the game, so you have a pistol to spawn with when you fly out of the sky. It's the early game only tier. What can I say about it? It's a suppressed pistol. Next up is the Typhoon Blade. Now, this is some OP solo mobility. Now, it looked a little mid when it came out because people were excited that this would be the kinetic blade from chapter 4, but it wasn't. It's just a different style of blade. So there's no mobility for it. You can't fly through the sky, but you can actually do something very similar where you just put a ramp over your head, and because you get a speed boost when you're sprinting, and you can jump higher, you can jump further.
Yeah, swords are OP, bro.
Ramp over your head, you can just sprint jump and do an EJ down.
Bro, you know what I just thought about? Imagine if we had Flowberry Fizz from last chapter or season mixed with the sword. Like, could you imagine the type of... I know we already have an abundance of mobility right now, but if you were to pair a Flowberry Fizz, for example, maybe in a Shockwave, as well as the sword, Brody. Brody. I'm telling you.
Dash to fire yourself really far forward. You can also do this out of edited cones, out underneath edited walls. You can do this basically on any ramp and fire yourself miles, which is really, really good for the solo mobility. If you right click, it also does 250 structure damage, which you can basically just use to phase into box and then use the sword to end up actually like knocking out an opponent or fighting them, which, as we've seen, those kind of mobility items look really strong in some certain competitive settings. So I've not seen actually many people complain about the damage the weapon does yet, but we'll see if people start to jump in the box and if it actually feels kind of broken. Not 100% yet. Sometimes those mobility items do.
Excuse
For
me.
This is almost a must carry, so it's
Strong
going to
AF.
be strong AF tier. But you got to learn to use it, practice it. The Fire Oni Mask. Now, this for zero builds,
This is low-key
is
OP, yeah, for
insane,
zero
because it
builds, for
essentially
sure.
just tracks a fireball that deals 100 damage onto a player. I think this only does 125 structure damage.
Because if you get hit twice with this fire mask situation, it's game over, bro. It's game over.
I remember correctly. So from what I've seen, there's not many plays you can make with it where you can like destroy walls, destroy boxes. I'll need to test this a little bit more to see if it's actually worth carrying at any point. But I'll be honest, I'm yet to really see any viability from this item in builds, so it's just going into the mid tier. But it's Void Oni Mask counterpart. Now this thing is amazing. Essentially what you can do with the left click is you fire a teleporter, which can go roughly around 140 meters if you angle it correctly. And then whenever you want, you can just right click to teleport to it. The teleporter lasts 50 seconds, which is a really long time. So you can basically just chuck one out, harvest a bunch, do whatever you want, and then teleport to it later. There's a ton of strats that you can do with this, like pinching other players. You can use it to escape fights yourself to get far away. You can pre-place one before.
You know what I just thought about that's crazy? That there's a small percentage of you who are watching who have gotten to this length of the video and you haven't subscribed yet. Make sure you smash that subscribe button, all right? All right, let's continue.
Or you get into a fight, and if you get into a sticky situation, you can just teleport back out and they'll have no idea where you've gone. There's so many different things you can do with this. Unbelievably amazing. Going into the strong AF tier.
Okay,
in solos,
fair.
you'll basically either be
That's
taking
fair.
this or the Typhoon Blade. Like, that's it. It's one of the two. Next up is the Shockwave Grenade. Now, these are not in competitive, so, you know, this is a competitive channel. So
Really?
I'm not gonna lie. They're in the not in comp tier. On something more interesting is the
Oh,
Boons. Now, these are
okay,
basically
fair.
the replacement for augments. They're insanely good, and there's 4 different
Water?
variations of them so far. The first one up is the Water Boon.
Yeah,
and
yeah,
that
yeah.
basically heals you if you go into the water. And remember, there was a
You know what sucks about carrying the water boon and you don't know it? Is that when you really need heals and you forget that you actually have a water boon and then you get inside water and then you realize you just like self-healing. That's one of the best. That's crazy, but it's one of the best feelings ever. That's the thing about the water boon. And also you can't really see it in your inventory. It would be nice somewhere if they had a visual in your inventory so you know which boon you have. And then in the back of your mind, you kind of like low-key know that like, okay, I have this ability because of this specific you know what I'm talking about.
reality augment whenever these reality augments were in, which was very, very similar. If you start swimming, you'll start getting HP and also shield up to 175. Note, this does not work in the storm. This is really, really powerful. So this is absolutely going into strong AF tier, in particular when you realize it also heals your teammates who are nearby you too. Not sure at what kind of radius yet though. Next up is the Wind Boon, which essentially makes you run faster with your pickaxe out. That's going straight into the perfect tier. That's just cool, super useful, in particular just for making rotations, for angle switching as well. You get a little bit boost of your mobility and you can run around. Pretty cool. The Fire Boon makes you reload faster. Same thing, into the perfect tier. This is super useful if you're just trying to pressure someone, if you're an aggressive player, or you're just trying to put a lot of output of damage on, in particular if you've got a high fire rate like spray weapon like the suppressed SMG. So good combination there. And then the Void, which scans people when you get knocked.
Yeah, that
Now,
one
I'm not
is
sure if this
OP.
is just any player in the radius or the team, but regardless, this is insanely strong. And you want to make sure that your player who has the
that one's
most
OP.
fragging capability is the one that picks this up, because they're going to be the ones who are getting the knocks, which is scanning all the players around you. And it's important you can't drop the boons, so yeah, make sure you give them to the right person, because if you pick them up, you've got them for the rest of the game. All right, on to the medallions. First is the Wanderer medallion,
OP.
which dropped by Shogun
Absolutely
X on
OP,
the
bro.
island. Now, this actually grants you infinite stamina and invisibility while you're sprinting, which is incredibly powerful. Of course,
Don't know
this is
why
really
you'd
good
have
for
that
just
visual there,
rotating,
but
because
okay.
infinite sprint is super, super good, but the invisibility aspect is really good as well. Now, in Chapter 5, the medallion, which made you invisible, was really underutilized until kind of the last couple of weeks of the chapter, because in endgames, you can basically just crouch walk through the entire...
I don't ever slow up, no I don't take shit. I got no love for the fakeness. If you wanna play tough and wanna hate this, I'll always show up. I don't ever slow up, no I don't take shit. I got no love for the fakeness. If you wanna play tough and wanna hate this, I'll always show up and make a statement. I don't ever slow up, no I don't take shit. I
moves so instinctive and so passionate. Every word I move so descriptive like an adjective. I got a vendetta against people who patented being negative when you should be getting after it. I got facts over tracks, this and that. Spitting slow, spitting fast, I could roast, I could gas. Think I'm okay at last, but I don't know if that can erase all the past. And the pettiness, a reflection of the emptiness. Hilarious, you think you're worth my time, you're delirious. Mysterious, because you hide behind a fake exterior. Inferior, you know I'll always be a bit superior. Get off of me, this ain't no humble brag. I want you to hear words, you can say them back. I want you to feel free from the chains at last, and to believe in what you got, it was built to last, yeah. Now that I've been put through hell, I never got anyone's help. I had to do it all myself. I don't ever slow up, no I don't take shit. I got no love for the fakeness. If you wanna play tough and wanna hate this, I'll always show up and make a statement. I don't ever slow up, no I don't take shit. I got no love for the fakeness. If you wanna play tough and wanna hate this, I'll always show up and
pick it up. So it kind of contradicts itself in that way. It'd be cool if it followed you or something like that. It ran after you and you could grab it up.
Yeah,
but
I
you've got to go back and
suppose.
pick it. So it's basically a one-time use.
Yeah.
With the Hollow Twister AR in the game, like, you're just going to get beamed out of the sky if you try to fly through one of these in like mid or late game. However, it'll be really strong for going through storm. If you're just trying to make late rotates and there's no one around you, you can just fly to get a little bit quicker. So this, to me, this is just going to go into the early game.
Yeah.
Then we also have all the usual heals, minis, bigs, medkits, bandages.
Excuse me.
No complaints. Can't go wrong with a bunch of them. There you go, Reese, you've got the mythics.
Woo.
I kind of thought of that whilst I was going through. Almost every single weapon or the masks all have mythic variations as well, which I've basically included in my rating here. Overall, I'm giving this meta a solid 8.5 out of 10.
That's fair.
That is very, very highly rated by me. That's particularly true because this is the first couple days of the season, and usually there's a ton of broken stuff there. Make sure you sub to the channel because there's going to be a ton of...
Excuse me, that was an absolutely great video. Let me know what your favorite weapon is in the comments down below, and make sure to subscribe. Excuse me, like, and I'll catch you guys on the next video. Shout out.